Hello, dear students. So, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. So, to start with our discussion today, by the way, let me remind you we are now on quarter two of module number six, and our lesson today is Human Responses to Emerging Challenges in Contemporary Society. So, yung title pa lang malalaman niyo na siguro kung anong pag-uusapan natin this morning. And here's the most essential learning competency. Examine human resources, human response, sorry, examine human responses to emerging challenges in contemporary societies. And the following objectives are identify new challenges faced by human population in contemporary societies. Ano-ano kaya yung mga challenges na kinakaharap ng bawat isa na sa atin ngayon? Lalong-lalo na ngayon, ngayong panahong ito. And number two, describe how human societies adapt to new challenges in the physical, social, and cultural environment. And lastly, develop an action plan for community-based response to change. Okay? So, una, what is global warming? Marahil nararanasan natin ito ngayon. And definitely your answer would be yes. When carbon dioxide and other air pollutants and greenhouse gases build up in the atmosphere, they absorb sunlight and solar energy that has bounced off the Earth's surface, resulting in global warming. Okay? Normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants which may linger in the atmosphere for years to centuries, trap the heat and cause the planet to become hotter. And that is the greenhouse effect. Okay? So the greenhouse effect is the result of this. And the term global warming refers to the gradual rise in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and oceans, a phenomenon that is thought to be irreversibly altering the Earth's climate. Okay? So siguro marahil alam niyo na nararanasan na natin ngayon yung epekto ng global warming. Okay? So, speaking of the effects of global warming, so here's the following. Okay, the temperature rises on average. Mapapansin niyo sobrang init ngayon. Konting liwanag lang, konting araw lang, sobrang init na. Okay? Seasonal changes. Mapapansin niyo siguro kanina sobrang tirik na tirik yung araw, but in the afternoon, biglang ano to parang bagyo na ulit, 'di ba? Severity of harsh weather events, 'di ba? Water and food shortages. So ito yung mga epekto ng global warming. Okay? Hindi na marami ng mga nasisirang pagkain, mga pananim na epekto ng global warming. Increased health risks. Okay, mapapansin niyo, bakit sasabihin niyo, bakit laging para may bagong sakit na dumarating sa mundo? Okay? And coastal inundation. Increased frequency and intensity of cyclones and hurricanes are all factors to consider. Hindi natin masyadong nararanasan ito sa Pilipinas, no? Pero in some other countries, napapanood natin sa television yung mga cyclones and hurricanes. Okay? So, what is climate change? Climate change has arisen as a result of global warming. So, alam niyo na, resulta ng global warming is climate change. Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, biglang nagbabago yung panahon. Tirik na tirik yung araw in the morning, pero pagdating ng 11 o'clock, biglang magdidilim ang kalangitan at uulan na parang bagyo. Okay? These terms are sometimes used interchangeably, but they are actually distinct. Minsan minsan nalilito tayo, what is global warming? What is climate change? But do not forget, climate change is the result of global warming. Okay? Changes in weather patterns and growing seasons all around the world are referred to as climate change. Papansin ninyo, summer naman ngayon pero bakit maulan? 'Di ba? So, yun marahil ay epekto ng global warming, which is climate change. It also refers to the rise in sea level caused by warmer oceans expanding and melting ice sheets and glaciers. Oo, lalong-lalo na 'pag summer ano, talagang natutunaw yung yelo somewhere in the East Coast, 'di ba? Or lalong-lalo na yung mga lugar na punong-puno ng yelo, 'di ba? Climate change is a result of global warming. Inulit lang yung una. And it poses a severe threat to human life on the planet in the form of widespread flooding and catastrophic weather. Mapapansin ninyo there are some places in the Philippines na dati hindi naman binabaha ang mga lugar na yon, pero look at that now. Look at those places now. Talagang lagpas bahay ang baha. Magugulat na lang tayo or mapapanood natin sa TV na may mga interviews na sinasabi nila na dati hindi naman binabaha ang lugar na to, pero ngayon bahang-baha at lagpas bahay na. So, climate change also. Typhoon Halyan, also known as Super Typhoon Yolanda in the Philippines, was one of the most intense tropical storms ever recorded and was caused in part by climate change. Isa sa mga isa sa mga apektado ng Yolanda is yung lugar ko, Tacloban. Nakatira ako sa Tacloban for so many years ago, pero never kaming nakaranas ng ganon ka grabing baha na halos mawala na sa mapa ang Tacloban. That's the first. Kaya nagulat yung mga tao, kaya siguro marami yung mga hindi nakalikas kasi hindi naman inaasahan na talagang ganon ang mangyayari sa tubig. 'Di ba? So biglaan, first time. So yun, marahil epekto din yun ng climate change. Na bigla na lang binaha na kahit nandun ako, sobrang lakas ng mga bagyong dumating previously, pero hindi naman bumabaha ang Tacloban, di ba? So, climate change is characterized by irregular changes in the world's weather system. Remember, take note, irregular changes as evidenced by the following indicators: rising sea levels, habitat destruction, ocean acidification, extreme weather. So, take note of those indicators na talagang may climate change. Okay. These occurrences in various parts of the globe have an impact on all people on the planet. Lahat ng mga nangyayaring yon ay talagang may epekto sa mga taong nakatira. Okay? Climate change, on the other hand, will have an impact on every area of society, the environment, and of course, the economy. Recently, nagkaroon ng bagyo o death. O, ang laki ng impact noon sa mga nakatira sa Visayas and Mindanao. Hanggang ngayon, some of them ay hindi pa nakaka-recover. Okay? Some of them ay wala pang mga bahay, wala pa rin mga pagkain, malinis na tubig pang inom. So those are the effects of climate change. And of course, may epekto nito sa ekonomiya ng bansa. Okay? Human behavior, livelihoods, infrastructure, laws and regulations, and institutions are all likely to be impacted. Lahat ng yon ay magkakaroon ng epekto sa kanila. Okay? So, what is adaptation? I think this is one of the best way na kailangan nating mag-adapt sa nangyayaring climate change and global warming. Ways to adapt the situation of global warming. Ano ang dapat nating gawin para ma-adapt natin yung nangyayaring global warming? Okay? Kung hindi man masolusyonan, at least people can adapt to change. Okay? Practice conservation of natural resources. Conserve natural resources. Air, water, soil, minerals, plants, and animals. These are natural resources on the planet. Conservation is taking care of these resources so that all living beings can benefit from them now and in the future. Okay? Number two, reduce pollution and waste. Sino ba ang gagawa nito? Tayo-tayo pa rin. Paano natin gagawin to? For on-the-go refreshments, use reusable bottle or cup. Okay? Reusable supermarket bags are useful for more than simply groceries. Kaya laging magdala ng eco bag na mga bags pag namamalengke at pag pumupunta sa mga grocery stores. Make prudent purchases and recycle what you can. Okay? Hangga't maaari, tipirin natin ang pagbili ng mga bagay na magiging dahilan ng pagdami ng basura. Okay? Tapos, matuto tayong mag-recycle. Okay? It should be composted. Lahat ng mga bagay na mga nabubulok ay pwede naman natin itong gawing compost. Alam niyo ba kung anong ibig sabihin ng compost? Ginagawa itong halimbawa mga buto ng halimbawa mga balat ng pagkain, mga balat ng prutas, ng gulay. Pwede niyo siyang tipirin at hindi itapon. Kung mayroon kayong space ng lupa, ilagay niyo sa maghukay kayo, din ilagay niyo doon, then gawin yung compost at yung compost na yun ay pwedeng gawing pataba ng mga pananim ninyo. Kung mayroon kayong gulayan sa likod ng bahay or sa taas ng bahay, yung mga ginagawang mga gulay sa pot, 'di ba? Tapos gawin yung patabayan. Okay? That's magiging healthy pa yung pagkain ninyo, magiging organic pa. Kasi hindi kayo bumili ng mga fertilizers para sa pampataba ng inyong mga pananim. Reuse water. Alam ko yung Evergotesco, pag nagpupunta ako sa kanilang restroom, meron silang karatula doon na gumagamit daw sila ng mga recycled or reused water sa pambuhos ng kanilang mga ng toilets. 'Di ba? That's a good way, okay? 'Yon. Collect all parts of the water you use in the shower is the simplest way to start reusing water at home. Water can be used to flush the toilet or irrigate your garden. Okay. Recycle products. Newspapers, magazines, mixed paper, cardboard, tin cans, aluminum cans, all containers are examples of products that can contain recycled materials. Conserve energy. Okay. The efforts to reduce energy consumption by utilizing less than an energy service is known as energy conservation. This can be accomplished by either using energy more efficiently or lowering the amount of service provided. So, halimbawa, driving less. Instead na, kung malapit lang naman ang pupuntahan ninyo, bakit hindi na lang kayo gumamit ng bike or kaya maglakad? Okay? So, huwag gamitin yung motor or kaya sasakyan. Okay? Or car. So, yon. So, global responses. Ano ba ang ginagawa natin para ma-respond yung global warming and climate change? Adaptation is a long-term process of making lasting changes and response to climate change with strong policy connections to economic development, private reduction, and disaster management measures. Adaptation. Citizen engagement and awareness. are also required to maintain and prioritize climate change actions. Bakit hindi natin i-educate itong mga tao about the about ways to lessen the effect of climate change? Tapos i-educate natin yung mga tao kung anong mga maaaring mangyari, mga bad effects ng climate change. So engage the people. Okay? Another one is transmigration and overseas Filipino worker. I do not know if you still remember our past lesson about transnational migration. At saka yung OFWs or overseas Filipino workers. Transnational migration occurs when people move from one country to another while maintaining their social ties. Kaya halimbawa, buong pamilya ninyo pumunta sa Canada at doon na sila nanirahan. Okay? That's an example of transnational migration. It's a global phenomenon that's only becoming bigger in terms of scope, complexity, and influence. Migration is a source and result of large development processes, as well as a fundamental components of our globalizing world. So, the epekto na rin ng globalizing or globalization. Okay? So, trans migrants are immigrants whose everyday lives are reliant on many and continuous interconnections across international borders, and whose public identities are shaped by multiple nation states. Yung mahilig mag-travel dyan. So, what are the factors of transnational migration? Una, because of overpopulation. Okay? Number two, because of poverty. Okay? Siguro mas maganda ang buhay nila kung magma-migrate sila sa Canada. Mas maraming opportunity ang makukuha ng pamilyang ito kung magma-migrate sila sa ibang bansa. Okay? Underemployment. Karamihan sa mga tao, sa lalo-lalo na sa mga Pilipino, nagma-migrate because they look for a better job. Okay? Underemployment, the other one is, and also naman yung isa is unemployment. Underemployment is na may trabaho ka nga pero hindi yun ang iyong napagtapusan na trabaho. Pero mas better kung mayroon kang trabaho kahit hindi yun ang natapos mo or kursong kinuha mo. At least may trabaho ka pa rin, di ba? And low wage level. Naniniwala ang karamihan sa atin na mababa ang kita natin sa ating bansa kaya mas magandang manirahan sa ibang bansa. Okay? So, advantage. Ano nga ba yung mga advantages of transnational migration? Overseas Filipino workers are a well-known example of transnational migration. According to 2011 Philippine Overseas Employment Agency or POEA report, the Philippines has 10% at 10,455,788 million OFW spread throughout 236 countries and territories, so making it one of the top 3 labor-sending countries in the world after India and China. So, marami akong mga nakikitang mga babasahin, mga nababasang babasahin at saka napapanood ng mga interview. Bakit daw karamihan sa mga ibang bansa ay kinukuha nila ang mga Pilipino bilang mga employee or employees? Kasi daw masisipag ang mga Pilipino. So, isa yon sa mga dahilan kung bakit maganda ang mag-migrate sa ibang bansa kasi mas pinipili tayo na magtrabaho sa kanila. The goal of sending 1 million workers per year indicates that migration will play a significant role in the country's long-term development plans and prospects. Filipino society has changed into a migration-savvy society capable of responding to and adapting to the shifting demands of the global labor market. Yung talagang dahilan. Filipinos' educational and professional objectives were integrated into their perceptions of the international labor market. Okay? I remember ang sinulat kong ang thesis ko ay may kinalaman sa K-12 program. Isa ito sa mga objectives ng K-12 program para mas lalo tayo maka-adapt sa sa panlasa ng ibang bansa in terms of education. Okay? Kaya kailangan nating mag-extend ng 2 years sa high school, and that's senior high school, para tapatan natin yung pangangailangan ng ibang bansa. Okay? So, lalong-lalo na yung mga nasa iba, yung mga bansa at yung mga kapatid natin sa ibang bansa or yung mga taga-ibang bansa, mas gusto nila yung mga skilled workers. Kaya nagtatag tayo ng K-12 program na may kinalaman sa TVL. Okay? So, yon. Kung may advantages, mayroon din disadvantage. What are the disadvantages of transnational migration? Okay, it includes anxiety about destabilizing impacts of migrations and families. Oo nga, no? So, lalong-lalo na yung mga naiwan, nagkakaroon daw ng anxiety or bad effect sa mga naiiwan ng kanila, halimbawa mga bata at saka umalis ang mga magulang sa papunta sa ibang bansa, nagkakaroon daw ito ng epekto sa mga batang naiwan. Okay? Delegation of responsibility to grandparents, nannies to take care of their children. Na sa ibang bansa yung mga magulang so iniiwan sa mga nannies, sa mga grandparents ng kanilang mga anak. Okay? Apprehensions about materialism. May takot ang karamihan sa atin na magiging materialistic yung mga tao na naghahangad ng mabuting kabuhayan, di ba? So, that would be all. Thank you. At kung mayroon kayong mga katanungan tungkol sa lesson na to, huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong sa comment section ng video ito. And to my students, if you have questions about the lesson, please do not hesitate to ask questions. I-PM nyo ako directly sa Facebook, sa Messenger, o kaya sa ating group chat. Okay? So that would be all. Thank you so much. And once again, Happy New Year at maraming salamat sa pakikinig at panonood ng aking video. Bye everyone!